Are you all ready, my dear student?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now
Yes,
we
sir.
have to start our class. Listen,
Yes, sir.
previously we have completed crystallization, and today we will learn about the chemical changes. Okay, and we
Sir.
previously know betterly what is the definition for physical chemical changes, that when any object undergoes its change in chemical properties during the course of change, we can say such type of change as chemical change. Okay, so now look at here, but before
Sir.
beginning we have to start one video related to that chemical change subject. Okay, and we have to learn today one precious metal named as rubidium. What is that? Rubidium. We'll see,
Rubidium.
and it is, listen, it is the much more expensive metal than the gold present in our earth. So are you ready to see the video regarding to that rubidium?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now look at here. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello everyone. Today we will conduct interesting and very expensive experiments with rubidium. Rubidium is an active alkali metal, which is in the first group of the periodic table of chemical elements, below potassium. Due to its extremely high activity, rubidium is stored in glass ampoules under vacuum or inert atmosphere, such as argon. In the vial, you can observe the shiny surface of rubidium. Before we conduct our experiments with rubidium, it must be removed from the ampoule. However, the ampoule must of course be first opened. To do that, in order to open it, I took a file and scratched the ampoule to get a more flattened cracker later on. Then I hit the ampoule with a hammer, and now it's open. However, our rubidium is still trapped inside. To finally get it out of there, I use the small melting point of rubidium, which is 39 degrees Celsius. I heated the vial with the rubidium inside with a torch and poured off the resultant molten metal into the jar of kerosene. Because kerosene has water and oxygen impurities in it, rubidium oxidized very rapidly even in kerosene and becomes coated with a layer of peroxides. Rubidium is an incredibly soft metal. Its hardness resembles a butter at room temperature. Now, let's conduct some chemical reactions with it. To get started, simply cut off a piece of rubidium and leave it on a napkin. Because of the oxidation with oxygen, rubidium melts by the heat of the reaction. In this case, rubidium might become self-igniting, setting flames to everything surrounding it. If you take a large piece of rubidium and leave it on a wooden surface, it will then firstly melt, and later self-ignite, burning with a beautiful violet flame, because of the rubidium ions.
how reactive is it? Look at here. Okay,
In water, rubidium behaves much more dangerously than potassium. If we throw even a small piece of rubidium in water, an explosion will immediately occur. Because rubidium is much denser than water and has a very low melting point, large pieces of rubidium vigorously explode in water. I had also conducted a reaction with rubidium and sand, similar to lithium. However, rubidium simply melted on the hot sand without any combustion. Rubidium still reacted with the sand to form an amorphous silicon that the sand consists of. A beautiful effect was when rubidium was somewhat absorbed in the sand to form a shiny metal surface. Even more interesting was the reaction of rubidium with sulfur. At first, I just set fire to the rubidium with sulfur.
you have to mute yourself. Okay, everybody, when they
The
will mute,
reaction was pretty
you will
loud.
listen proper voice.
Then I have melted the sulfur and added pieces of rubidium to it. Rubidium burned in the sulfur to form beautiful sparks of molten metal. Finally, to remove the leftover rubidium from the jar, I filled it with alcohol. In this case, rubidium immediately ignited the alcohol because of the violent reaction, but then the reaction became more calm. Also, due to the strong alkaline environment, the alcohol was colored orange. Nowadays, the metal rubidium has little practical application, primarily because of the high cost and a few places to buy it. The cost of the ampule with rubidium that I experimented with was around 500 euros. Usually, rubidium and its compounds are used in organic synthesis, optics, and nuclear industry. Vapors of rubidium are used in the high-precision rubidium clocks that are of extremely low error. Subscribe to my channel to see many more new.
Okay, was that informative?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Now
Good
we'll
morning, sir.
start our chemical change reaction phase of the chapter. Look at here. All of you look at here. During this animation video, we will see whatever the things we are going to learn during the course of chemical change. Okay, all of you listen the voice of this audio and I will explain each line perfectly. Whenever you will face any problem or any doubt, you have to ask me. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now
sir.
look at here.
Keep the milk bottle in the refrigerator, but you forget to do so. Next morning you see that the milk has spoiled. Can you get the milk back from the spoiled one?
Sir, we can see.
Oh, wait.
Sir, we cannot see.
Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir. We can see. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now get ready to see the video.
Introduction. At night your mother asks you to keep the milk bottle in the refrigerator, but you forget to do so. Next morning you see that the milk has spoiled. Can you get the milk back from the spoiled one?
Can you?
No, sir.
No,
Because
sir.
it's a
No, sir.
permanent change.
No, sir.
So listen, it's a permanent change and during such kind of change we cannot regain our initial product. Okay, and this type of change is called as irreversible change. Though it occurs during chemical reaction, we can say such type of change as irreversible change during chemical reaction. Look at here.
Objectives. At the end of this lesson you will be able to explain chemical changes, give examples of chemical changes. Chemical change. Burning of coal, spoilage of milk, rusting of iron and formation of green film on copper are chemical changes.
Okay,
A
you can
substance
see here
undergoes chemical reaction.
such type of changes you can classify it under chemical changes. Okay, like here burning of coal, conversion of milk into curd, roasting of iron, formation of green coat upon copper metal. Such type of changes you can categorize under chemical change. You can see here the definition for chemical change: the change in which new substances are formed and the new substances show completely different property from the original ones is called chemical change, isn't it? You can see here the curd's property is completely different from the property of milk. The property of rust present upon iron nail is completely different from the property of iron. You can see these green patches or green coating which is forming upon this copper plate. It is also completely different in its chemical composition than that of copper. Similarly, during the course of burning of coal, you can see some other things are arising from this initial coal. Okay, you can get the heat energy, you can get the foams, smoke, okay, any other impurities from that coal also. So these kind of changes are called as chemical changes. All of you write the definition of this chemical change by taking the screenshot.
Written.
Very good.
During a chemical change.
Written.
Characteristics of chemical reaction.
Now look towards other characteristics of chemical change. Look.
You must have seen your mother making puris from the dough of wheat flour. Can you get back the dough from puri? No.
Can you get when your mother is
No.
taking the wheat
No, sir.
powder and when
No,
you
sir.
will made some puri from
No,
this
sir.
dough, can she regain that dough or wheat? No, because such type of change has occurred completely in one direction. You cannot regain these ingredients or the initial substance. Hence we can say such type of change as irreversible change. So the very first property for chemical change is it is an irreversible change. Then the second property of such chemical change will be chemical compositions of substances change during the chemical change. That means the chemical properties of the substances will be changed during chemical change, and we have learned the physical properties of the substance changes during the course of physical change. Now look towards the further point.
This chemical change cannot be reversed by physical means. Examples of chemical changes.
You can also see
Children of
the
chemical
last
change
point,
reversed by physical.
that the properties of new substances which are formed during the course of chemical change are entirely different from the original substances, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Now look at here.
Physical means. Examples of chemical changes. Children, you can see too many chemical changes in your daily life. Have you seen iron gate or iron bench in garden with a brownish film on it?
Have you ever seen such type of brownish substances present upon the?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Now look at here. The iron metals, when gets in combination with oxygen present in air or water vapor present in air, in that condition only one brown colored hydrated iron oxide formation occurs upon that iron surface, and this brown colored hydrated iron oxide is called as rust of the iron, and the process of formation of rust is called rusting of iron. Write down the below statement by taking the screenshot. That means two very most important conditions are required for rusting of iron. One is presence of oxygen in air and water vapor in the air. And I have asked one question, that why iron gets rusting when it remains under water. The answer will be the water also contains dissolved oxygen. So for rusting, our two necessary conditions means the oxygen content availability and water vapor content availability will be satisfied under water. So under that condition your iron will get rusting. Okay, somebody is trying to enter. Is it clear?
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now all of you look towards the video. Look.
This brownish film is called rust, and the process of formation of this film is called rusting. Chemical name of this rust is iron oxide.
Remember and write down this equation. for rusting that iron, the symbol of iron element is Fe plus oxygen present in air. The symbol for oxygen molecule is O2 plus water. The symbol for water molecule is H2O. When these all reacts with each other, they gives rise to iron oxide or rust, and the symbol for iron oxide is Fe2O3. Okay, write the chemical equation. This is the chemical equation for rusting of iron. Very good. Now look.
Morning, sir.
Rusting
Very good
occurs in
morning.
presence of oxygen and moisture. Prevention of rusting. Rusting slowly
Who can say what is the best method to prevent rusting?
Put color on a
Very good. By coloring, painting, applying oil or grease upon the iron surface, we can prevent it from its rusting. Okay. Now look, and one technique is there known as galvanization. During galvanization, yes, very good morning. During galvanization, what happens? We can use the copper metal to coat upon iron. Okay. Look at here. Look at, sorry, the zinc metal. Now look at here. During galvanization, the zinc metal when gets coated upon the iron, our iron materials will remain protected from the contact of oxygen and water vapor from the atmosphere. By making this galvanized iron, we can protect the iron from its rusting. Okay, hence we can protect the iron made materials. Look at here.
destroys the iron articles. You may have seen that paint is applied to iron grills of windows and balconies. It prevents the formation of rust on them. So we can prevent rusting by preventing iron articles to contact moist oxygen or water. This is accomplished by painting, applying grease or oil, depositing a layer of zinc on iron, which is also called galvanization.
Understood. What is galvanization? You can see such type of galvanized materials are available in our day-to-day life. We may have sometimes listened the GI wire. Okay, GI wire. Have you listened the word GI wire?
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
listen, GI wire or GI pipe, such type of materials are available in our day-to-day life, and which are used generally during the what outer environmental condition, means where there is the chance of getting in contact with water vapor and oxygen, and we have to use such type of zinc coated iron or galvanized iron. Its abbreviation will be GI. Okay, GI stands for what? Galvanized iron. Remember, GI stands for galvanized iron, and that iron we can use to prevent its rusting. Okay, that means it will not catch the atmospheric oxygen and water vapor, so the iron will remain protected. Look at here.
And by chromium plating.
Another plating method is there known as chromium plating. During that process, what happens? By electroplating method, we can apply the chromium, thin covering of chromium upon our iron. Okay, covering means coating, very thin coat we have to apply, which is made up of chromium upon our iron, and chromium doesn't react with atmospheric oxygen and water vapor, so our iron will remain protected from our atmospheric oxygen and water vapor. So iron will be protected after chromium plating. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So 4 methods we have learned to protect the iron from its rusting. First is applying color or painting. Second one is applying oil or grease. Third one is by galvanization. That means we have to make a coat of zinc upon the iron. Then another one is known as chromium plating. Understood? These are the 4 main steps.
Sir.
By using this, we can protect our iron from its rusting. Look at here.
Take a small ribbon of magnesium.
Here we are going to see one chemical reaction. Okay, and you have to see the video because we cannot perform lab activity during this condition. You can see this video to imagine how such chemical reactions are occurring, and during this process we are going to burn the ribbon of magnesium. And what will happen to next? Now look at here. Here you can see the person is cutting the ribbon of magnesium into small pieces. Now look at here, what will happen next?
Bring its tip near a flame. It burns with a brilliant white light and leaves a powdery ash called magnesium oxide.
So look at here, write down this chemical equation. Write down this chemical equation. The symbol for magnesium is Mg, capital M, small g. And when it will react with oxygen molecule, that means you have already learned hydrogen is the gas which burns itself. Remember, listen. But oxygen is the gas which helps in burning. During the presence of oxygen, we can burn a metal. If there will be no oxygen present in the atmosphere, we cannot burn anything. Understood? You have seen that during
Yes, sir.
when somebody is going to extinguish the fire, if you spray the fire extinguisher upon the flame, you can see that extinguisher will release huge amount of carbon dioxide. Okay, and carbon dioxide inhibits the combustion process, means the burning process. Okay, so when there will be sufficient amount of carbon dioxide concentration present around the burning site, the fire will extinguish. But if oxygen will be there, the air will the fire will grow up. Okay, you can see. So when we were burning the magnesium, that was producing a glowing light. During that condition, oxygen must be there. Yes or no? Because in the presence of
Yes, sir.
oxygen
Yes,
only,
sir.
in the presence of oxygen
Yes,
only,
sir.
we can burn something. Okay, so when magnesium is burning in the presence of oxygen, we will get such ashes of magnesium, and that ash is called as magnesium oxide or the ash of magnesium. In common name you can say it as ash of magnesium, but in chemical name you can say it as magnesium oxide, and the chemical symbol for magnesium oxide will be MgO, capital M, small g and O. And here you can see this chemical equation is not in balanced state, and the task for you that you have to balance this chemical equation, and you have to send me by my WhatsApp number. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yes.
repeat that. What you told?
This chemical equation is not in balanced state, and I have already said how to balance the chemical equation. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you have to balance this chemical equation and you have to send me to my WhatsApp number. This one is the task for you.
Sir, now?
No,
Sir, now?
after the class, after the finishment of class. Now you have to write.
Okay, sir.
How will do?
You have to write in a copy, then you have to send the picture to me. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And the steps you know very well. So you have to follow this step.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now look at here. And you have to make the table and you have to write step wise how to solve this chemical equation. Okay? Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now we have to proceed. So now we have got our magnesium oxide by burning magnesium in the presence of oxygen. Okay, now let us see what will happen next.
This ash has different property than magnesium. Therefore, burning of magnesium is a chemical change.
Okay, here you can see the ash has completely different property in chemical composition than that of magnesium reagent. You can also distinguish by see this by visualizing it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hence, though, and can you get again that magnesium ribbon from the ash of magnesium? Can you get again?
No, sir.
So,
No, sir.
No, sir.
so this type of change is irreversible change. You cannot reverse the change. You cannot regain the initial product. Okay, so that
Yes,
we
sir.
can say
Yes, sir.
this type of change as chemical change. Now look at here.
When magnesium oxide is dissolved in water, magnesium hydroxide is obtained, which turns red litmus blue.
Now look at here. When you will bring the ash of magnesium and you will dissolve it in water by stirring this metal with this glass rod, finally you will get the solution of magnesium hydroxide. Okay, understood? Then to test whether
Yes,
that
sir.
solution is acidic or base, we have to use the litmus paper. And as you know in the previous chapter that when the base, and listen, when red litmus will submerge or will be dipped inside the basic solution, we will get the converted blue color upon that litmus paper, isn't it? Or
Yes,
if
sir.
you don't know
Yes,
about,
sir.
don't know
Yes, sir.
initially that this solution is a basic solution, you have to take that indicator. And as you know the property of this indicator that the red litmus can turn into blue when it get in contact with basic solution. So when it will change its color, you will confirm that the solution is basic in nature, isn't it? Here also
Yes,
you have
sir.
made
Yes,
one
sir.
chemical reaction.
Yes, sir.
This
Yes, sir.
solution's property is completely different from the ash of magnesium, isn't it? Now let us see
Yes,
what will
sir.
be
Yes,
the
sir.
equation
Yes,
for
This
this.
sir.
suggests that magnesium
Yes, sir.
hydroxide is basic in nature. You will see a blue-colored solution.
You can
Basic in
write this
nature.
chemical reaction, write this chemical equation as well as the reaction. Write the chemical reaction. Below that you have to write the chemical equation. Under chemical reaction, all of you write, take the screenshot and write that on dissolving magnesium oxide in water, it gives magnesium hydroxide, which is basic in nature. And the equation for this reaction will be magnesium oxide plus water gives rise to magnesium hydroxide. So if you write the chemical equation in symbolical form, you have to write MgO plus H2O gives rise to MgOH whole 2. Understood? You have to write 2 as in subscript form. Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
And remember this chemical equation also. And here also you can see that this chemical equation is not in balanced form, or it is in balanced form. See the chemical equation and say whether it is in balanced state or not.
No, sir. No, sir.
No sir.
No, sir.
Why?
No, sir. No, sir.
If you will make the table and count the atoms, then from the reactant side and product side, look at here whether it is in balanced state or not. Look at here. The number of magnesium atom in the reactant side is how much? Who can say the number of magnesium atom in the reactant side is how much?
Sir, 1.
Very good.
2.
In reactant side only, that means in left hand side only is 1, and the magnesium at the product side is how much?
Sir, 1.
1 also. Very good. So magnesium atom is in balanced
Sir,
condition.
1.
Yes. Now look towards the number of oxygen atom in reactant side. How much?
Sir, 1.
In reactant side.
2, 2. Sir, 2.
Yes.
Sir,
Here.
2, 2.
Yes. 1 in magnesium oxide and 1 in water. So 2 in the reactant side. And how much in product side?
Sir, 1.
1, but it is whole 2. Whole 2 means 2 oxygen is there. Okay. So 2 oxygen
Yes,
is
sir.
also present in product side. That means our oxygen atom is also in balanced state. Now look towards
Yes, sir.
hydrogen atom. How much hydrogen atom is there in the reactant side?
1. 2, 2.
Very good.
2.
2. And in product side?
2.
2.
So every atom present in this equation are in equal number. That means we can say that this equation is in which state? Balanced or unbalanced?
Balanced.
Very good. Now
Sir,
all of you
balance.
mute yourself. So this one is the third chemical equation you have seen. First was is your rusting of iron. Second one is your burning of magnesium ribbon. Third one is formation of basic magnesium hydroxide solution. Is that clear? We have seen 3 consecutive
Yes, sir.
chemical
Yes, sir.
equations.
Yes, sir.
Now we have to proceed further. Look at here.
You will see a blue colored solution. Put an iron nail in it.
Look at here.
After
We are
Put
going
an
to see another
solution.
chemical equation.
Magnesium
Look at here.
hydroxide is basic in nature. You will see a blue colored solution. Put an iron nail in it. After some time, the color of solution changes to green.
Look at here. During this chemical change, here we have to take one copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution. Previously, during the course of crystallization reaction, is it visible to everyone? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look towards the screen. Sorry for the interruption. You can see here. Here this one is one chemical
And nail is covered.
reaction. Look at here. Here what is happening? Initially you have to take a test tube containing copper sulfate solution. During crystallization we have seen how to make copper sulfate solution to get the crystals of copper sulfate, isn't it? Is it audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who
Yes,
can
sir.
remember what was the color of that copper sulfate solution? Who can recall what was? Yes, very good. Look at here. Such type of solution, isn't it? If you make the copper
Yes, sir.
sulfate solution, you will get the blue colored solution. And when you will dip one iron nail inside it, after few minutes, nearly about 30 minutes or 1 hour, you will see what the change of this
Brown.
blue colored copper sulfate solution will be green in color.
Green.
Okay, it will be
Green.
look at here, it will become green in color. And you can also see one brown coat will form upon the iron nail. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and if you examine, you can determine that this brown coat present around the nail is nothing, it's the copper particles. Okay, these are the copper particles. So where the iron nail will get, from where the iron nail has got the copper particles upon it? Obviously from the solution, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
previously from the copper sulfate solution, the copper particles present in this solution will displace and will attach upon the iron. Okay, understood?
Sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
Yes, sir.
your and some part of iron will also mixed with that copper sulfate solution, and when it will form the iron sulfate, the solution will change its color into green. Now let us see how such reaction will occur. You can see when iron nail is placed in copper sulfate solution for some time, then the solution color changes from blue to green and a brown colored deposition takes place on the iron nail. Could you understand what I said?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Now
sir.
let us see
Yes,
what type
sir.
of what
by
will be the
brown film.
chemical equation for it. Look, and that brown color coating is nothing, it's the copper coating. That means this coating is made up of copper particles. Now look at here.
These changes are due to formation of iron sulfate solution and copper.
Understood? Now look at here this equation to get better understanding. Here you can see initially we have blue colored copper sulfate solution, and when we will add the iron upon it by submerging iron nail inside it, the reaction takes place. After few minutes, we will see that there is the deposition of copper upon the iron nail. That means copper will form from this copper sulfate. If you will remove this copper from copper sulfate, your sulfate will need something to be attached to form its sulfate solution or sulfate component. So it will displace with iron. That means it will, the sulfate molecules will attach with iron molecules to form iron sulfate, which is completely different in its composition than the copper sulfate, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And during this
Yes, sir.
reaction you are getting completely new product from the previous reactants, isn't it? At the initial stage of your chemical reaction, you have your iron and copper sulfate, but after the reaction, when you will get your product, you will get copper along with iron sulfate, which are completely different substances. They are completely different in their chemical composition, and this reaction is irreversible. That means you cannot get again the copper sulfate from iron sulfate. And during this type of chemical change, if you will notice that there is the change in color is also occurring. So the change in color during chemical reaction also occurs. So it will be another characteristics of your chemical change. In physical change also we have seen change in color also occurring, but that was not permanent. But here this type of change in color, it is permanent. You cannot regain the initial blue color. Understood? And such type of irreversible change in color, it also occurs during what? Chemical change. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes, sir.
who can say,
Yes, sir.
is the equation remaining in balanced state or not? Quickly
Sir,
say.
balanced.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Balanced.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay,
Yes, sir.
now we have to proceed. Look at here. So this one is the fourth equation we have seen. Okay, now look.
Students, vinegar and baking soda are easily found in our kitchen. Take little vinegar in a small bowl made of china clay. Add a pinch of baking soda to it. You will hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of gas coming out of it. The
Who can say vinegar contains which acid? Write in the chat box. Be quick. Write in the chat box. Let me see who will respond fast. Be quick. Very good, Akanksha. The fast response from Akanksha. Prasan Pare, very good. Preeti Misra, very good. Priyanka, very good. Anisha Martha, Rudra, Sneha Pradhan, Sanchita Sumya, Babare. Divyanshi Ayushman, Abhav Lipsa, Rosmi, then Maronisa, Sneha Sri, Lokonath Priyanshu, Siva Prasad, Mohesmita from Motnak, very good. Shakti Prasad also.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good job, beta. That means your acetic acid is present in the vinegar. Who can say what is present in the baking soda? Be quick. What is present in the baking soda? Be quick. Or write the chemical name of baking soda. No. Baking soda. Be quick. No, Dibajit. You are writing about the vinegar. Write the response as the answer for what is present in baking soda. Be quick. No. Ascorbic acid. No. Baking soda is a basic salt. Partially correct. Look at here. Your baking soda contains, everybody look towards the chat box. It contains sodium, hydrogen,
Bicarbonate.
carbonate, or yes, very good, Rasmi, very good. It contains sodium, hydrogen
I have also
sodium,
written.
hydrogen, carbonate. Yes, Priyanshu, very good. Or you can say it as
Carbonate
sodium.
NaTe.
Yes. The spelling is wrong. Okay. Thank you. Or you can say that baking soda also contains sodium bicarbonate. Okay. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaTe, carbonate spelling NaTe, or sodium bicarbonate. Now let us see what will happen when the acetic acid present in vinegar Look at here, the symbol for acetic acid, the formula for acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, and the symbol for baking soda, Na. N stands for sodium, then HCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate. CO3 stands for carbonate, and acetic acid, CH3COOH. And in a higher class you will learn about the naming of chemicals. Okay, for your convenience simply look at here, COOH will represent the acidic group, and here you can see two carbon atom is present, here one carbon, here another carbon. If two carbon atom will be present in one acidic group, we will say it as acid. If one carbon will be there, you can see a meth, two will be acid. So here you can see, though there are two carbon is present in this acid, we can say acetic acid. The symbol for, okay, you have to learn in your higher class, but here you simply remember the symbol for acetic acid is CH3COOH, and the symbol for sodium hydrogen carbonate is Na stands for sodium, hydrogen will be H, and carbonate CO3. So when you will mix one pinch of vinegar, one pinch of baking soda into the vinegar, you will see, you will listen, the hiss sound will come. Such type of sound will come by making bubbles in the vinegar. Okay, and that bubble contains carbon dioxide. That gas bubble contains what? Carbon dioxide. To test whether that gas is carbon dioxide or not, we have to perform another experiment. But for now, just see what type of chemical equation you can make when your vinegar will react with baking soda. That means when your acetic acid present in vinegar will react with sodium bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate present in baking soda. Let us have a look.
Sir,
Evolved
Yes.
sir, also when we are opening the Sprite bottle, it is also coming like some bubbles. That is also carbon dioxide gas.
Yes, yes. Some carbonate molecules will be there, they will release the carbon dioxide gas. Okay,
Yes, sir.
that is a
Yes,
different
sir.
equation. If there will be any free time, I will say this. Okay, now look towards this equation. The time is going to finish, you have to get ready for the next class. Now for this you have to just look towards how carbon dioxide gas is evolving. Look,
gas is carbon dioxide.
and some other products will also form. Look at here, write this chemical equation. When vinegar will react with baking soda, it will produce carbon dioxide with other products. What are the other products? I will say in the next class. If you can also write this. But the task for you that you have to balance the chemical equation that I have assigned. Now write this for the reaction between vinegar and baking soda and their chemical equation. Write it down.
I wrote.